For the longest time, I never thought of it as rape. I just figured I brought it upon myself because I was drinking.
So can you just state your name and tell me a little bit about what this project is about?
My name is Alyssa, and this project is about the prevalence of sexual violence against women. In this project, we're going to be talking about sexual harassment, sexual abuse, and sexual assault.
So when it comes to these issues, is there anything that you've dealt with personally in this?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that has driven me to do this project, and I feel like I want to say that I was in a sexually abusive relationship. I'm comfortable with talking about it now. I didn't used to be, but I definitely have been put in a situation where I was totally uncomfortable. It was to a point where I just felt like sex wasn't meaningful anymore, and I will never accept that again in another relationship. I was constantly being put in situations like during sexual activity that made me super uncomfortable. Like, he wanted me to do things that I would verbally be like, I don't want to do that. It started to become emotionally abusive, and like those two go hand in hand, emotional abuse and sexual abuse. He made me feel like if I don't have sex, like I'm nothing. He would threaten to cheat on me. He would tell me, I'm just gonna go find it elsewhere. Those were his exact words.
So how is it that you managed to get yourself out of that situation?
First of all, I want to say that I tried to get out of this relationship several times, but every time I tried, it seems like I was threatened each time with something, and gradually, like, the threats got more serious. First, the threat would just be like, you're not gonna find somebody like me, whatever, you're not gonna find me again, and good luck with that, good luck with trying. And then when I was like, I really can't take this anymore, that's when I was like, I'm leaving, like, I'm done, no more chances. And that's when the suicide stuff started happening. To me, that just shows somebody that's like really insecure and that needs some help. Like, if you feel like you're gonna take your life because your girlfriend doesn't wanna be forced into having sex with you, like, maybe you should seek some help for that. I tried to get him help. I referred him to a therapist. I'm currently studying psychology. Like, I know that there was a problem. I recognize that, but he did not want the help. And there's only so much you can do for people like that. And the more dramatic thing that I did to get away from this relationship, I literally moved to another state because I felt like I couldn't even be in my own state anymore. I felt like I had to get away. Luckily, my dad lives in another state, and I could go be with him. And spending that time with him there, it made me feel protected and safe. Some time goes by when I'm in this other state, and I'm like, wow, I finally feel safe. I feel like I'm away from this person. Like, I feel like I can breathe. And then flowers get sent to my dad's apartment. I just started feeling stalked, and it just didn't end. So it's like I moved away. I moved from all my friends and family. I just thank God for my dad, who was there for me throughout the whole thing. My dad even got on the phone and told him, hey, leave her alone. Don't talk to her anymore. It starts with small things, and then you go to the drastic thing, like what I did. Like, I moved. I remember I had such a good day at school that day. Like, I loved going to that college. Like, it was so nice. But then I got back to my dad's place, and I'm like, why are there roses out here? I thought maybe it was for my dad. Like, I don't know. And I open it, and there's like this love note in it from him. And I'm like, no. I wasn't like, ooh, flowers. Like, I immediately threw it in the trash. I was like, I am terrified. Why do I think people don't come forward?
A former Massachusetts high schooler was found guilty of sexually assaulting two 18-year-old students. However, he will not face any prison time, and he will also not have to register as a sex offender.
34-year-old Justin Schneider kidnapped a woman, strangled her until she was unconscious, and then masturbated on her. Snyder accepted a plea deal last week, which includes no additional jail time.
There is new public outrage today after a former Stanford University swimmer convicted of sexual assault was freed from jail. Brock Turner was freed after only serving 3 months of a 6-month sentence.
Bill Cosby, okay? Look at the man, Bill Cosby. Look at his life. People knew him as such a great man, whatever, such a family man. Look at what he was doing behind closed doors.
Bill Cosby, once a beloved TV dad, and tonight a judge now determining that he is a sexually violent predator, ordering Cosby be cuffed and immediately sent to prison.
I want to share a story that my friend told me that pertains to this topic. She just didn't want to show her face, so I'm going to read it for her. My friend and I used to party a lot back in the day. We knew this guy who we had partied with a few times. My friend slept with him before, but I never did. One night we went to Ybor to go clubbing like we usually did, and we ran into him. I know I took Xanax that day and was drinking that night, so I don't remember anything at all. The only thing I do remember is that I woke up to him on top of me having sex with me while I was passed out. When I realized what was going on, I started punching him and crying and telling him to get off of me. He was mad, but he eventually stopped. Knowing I couldn't drive home, I went outside to smoke a cigarette. And when I was done, I went inside to see if my friend was there. I went upstairs to the guy's room and found her totally passed out with him on top of her, having sex with her too. I screamed at him to get off of her. I woke her up, dragged her to my car, and we drove completely intoxicated to get home. We never spoke to him again after that. For the longest time, I never actually thought of it as rape. I figured that I brought it upon myself because I was drinking so much. All I remember though is him being on top of me. I can still see it in my mind today. I figured I had done or said something while I was intoxicated that made him think it was okay, but I didn't remember, and I still don't remember. But the fact that he went from me to my unconscious friend had always grossed me out, and it influenced me to call a rape hotline to ask about it. The lady told me that I was definitely raped. I was a party girl back then. I slept with a lot of guys, but I always consented to those. I never slept with this guy because I never wanted to, so I don't think that I would have given him consent even if I was unconscious. Even though I couldn't point out this man today, I can vividly remember seeing him on top of me on his living room floor. I'll never forget the feeling I had when I woke up and saw and felt that. Sex doesn't mean to me what it means to other people because of this. To me, it's just sex. For anybody that watches this, I just want them to be more aware of the fact that it is a problem. I would say that for women, just be aware. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the kind of people you invite into your life. Be open with your friends and family. Don't hide these kinds of things. Spread awareness yourself. Like, tell other people that this is a problem. Because if we don't talk about it, it's never going to be solved. It's never going to lessen. We need to talk about it, even if it's something that makes us uncomfortable. Not only do we have to educate our young women about being aware, but we also need to educate our young men about what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. When it comes to consent, it's a yes or no. Somebody that's giving you mixed signals probably doesn't want to go through with the activity that you're taking part in. Advice I have for anybody that is currently in a sexually abusive relationship, number one, and I cannot stress this enough, is to admit it to yourself, because sometimes you can be so blinded by love or whatever, but you know deep down that something's not right. You know that if somebody really loves you, they're not going to treat you this way. Reach out to your friends and family. Don't keep it inside, because if you keep it inside, you're going to blow up. You're going to have an emotional meltdown, and that's what happened to me. Just look out for yourself. You are the most important person to you.